Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor, and we're going to be doing a brand new legendary campaign with Orion, and this is using the SFO mod, and this is in August of 2020. So special thanks to Sin Tenchi for sponsoring this. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to sponsor a campaign yourself, it's just $30 for 10 episodes, and if you want to do more, we can do more, so about $3 an hour. We also do lots of other content on the channel as well. I do cover League of Legends. We stream that every night starting around midnight. Eastern Standard Time, usually go till about 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. And then right now we're doing a Witcher 3 playthrough. If you're interested in that, we're going to be doing some more single player content as well. If you want to sponsor that, it's just $5 an hour plus the cost of the game. I can help you crowdfund that. If you're interested, float the idea around a bunch of people on the stream and in some of the videos. So if you want to do something that would cost like $100, for example, maybe you throw in 50, maybe someone else throw in 50. Just let me know if you're interested in any of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get in here. So they just recently did some new Wood Elf changes on SFO, and we're going to go through that as soon as we get in there. This is before the DLC comes out. They've announced a new Wood Elf DLC that's coming out at an undisclosed date, probably in a few months from now. So if you're watching this in the future, this is not including that late 2020 DLC for Wood Elves. But Sentenshi wanted to go ahead and get this campaign in, so we're going to go ahead and do it. Okay, so faction effects enables unique wild hunt events. We'll talk about that as we get in there. Leadership during forest battles, plus 10. Melee attack when fighting against beastmen, plus 5. Plus 25% charge bonus when in a foreign territory. So that can be pretty helpful. Recruitment cost for any spirit units are plus 100%. This is instead of the amber. They changed the amber system around, so we'll talk about that when we get in there. But it costs a lot, but the upkeep is not more, and it doesn't cost you amber if you do want to get some forest spirit units. So that's faction wide, and you get a unique legendary unit at tier 4 if you want to hire that. Lord effects, speed plus 10% for elven units. Weapon strength plus 10% for wild rider units, and then plus 1 recruitment rank for all units faction wide, plus 25% charge bonus for wild riders, and then plus 1 unit capacity for wild riders. Okay, legendary, very hard. Let's go ahead and get in here. And we do have a couple of visual mods as well that don't affect gameplay. Other than the SFO, I'll have those linked in the description, but Sentenchi wanted to see a mod that changes the Wood Elves to have a little bit more of gold in their armor, and then the High Elves are going to have a little bit more like white and lighter colors, and the Dark Elves have darker colors. Now, Sentenchi also wanted a special objective for me to go take Ulthuan, basically. So it's going to be pretty unique. Often you would not want to go that direction. You usually want to go towards the Badlands or Norska. I think if you want to play like min-maxing, you can go into Empire as well, but this will be a little bit different than what you would do in a standard Wood Elf type of campaign. So we'll talk about some of the main changes when we go here. But Wood Elves in general, if you're not familiar with them, they have Athel Loren. They have one town in Athel Loren, which is a big forested region. That's the only place where they can make a fully formed tier 5 standard town. Everywhere else forms these elven outposts. So it's kind of like Norska if you played Norska, where you have access to like just some basic units and a couple of little things that can boost you up, help you heal, and stuff like that. But you can't build a fully fledged roster, and they're not going to generate that much income. So we'll show you once we get some of the early towns over here at Paravon. So these are the only places where you can get kind of big money buildings and like your big ticket units, your tier 5 units and stuff like that. So the main way that you get money is through post-battle loot, and then you can also burn stuff instead of turn it into a main town and get quite a bit of money that way. So if we go through here, we're allowed to get any of the elf units without penalty. And if it doesn't say Forest Spirit on it, then you can get it without penalty. So if we look over here and we look at Dryads and then your Treekin, now these are Hawk Riders, so those are elves on hawks, but that counts as Spirit unit, and the Dragon and the Treeman. So that does not reflect the full cost for the unit. The recruitment cost is going to be double what it normally would be, so it's very, very expensive to get the Tree Spirit units. However, you can get some of these things here. They changed around these forge systems. So none of these units have any prerequisite buildings anymore. So this is most important when we're talking about the elves here, the Starfire shafts and the Hagbane tips are really strong, but typically you would need a second building for them. That's no longer the case. So these are actually excellent investments now if you want to go for these Starfire Shafts, which we will. Because these give, the normal Glaive Guard just do 28 damage, and then a very small amount of that is piercing. We can get this to go down here. So only 5 of that is piercing. And what that means, I'll have a link to a beginner's guide for Total War Warhammer that I did a few days ago for somebody who donated for that. So if you want to know more about stats and just basic strategy for the game in general, check that out. But pretty much piercing does full damage through armor. So the only thing that reduces piercing damage is physical resist. And if they have armor, and every 2 points of armor is going to block 1% damage. So if something has 50 armor, it's blocking 25% damage. Piercing goes through all of that. So if you're firing this on someone who has 50 armor, that 14 is going to get reduced by 25%, right? So it's going to knock off a lot of damage. But if you have something like the Starfire Shafts here, which do almost all piercing damage, does 18 of the 19 damage is piercing, then you're getting a lot more damage. So effectively, you're doing 25% more damage against a 25 armor target. There's other stuff that goes into it depending on if they have a shield, if they have physical resist, all that stuff. But it's a lot more damage, And then this also has magic damage and fire damage. So it's going to cut through any physical resist as well, because magic cuts through the physical resist. And the flaming attacks are going to do bonus damage against certain other units out there that are going to have a vulnerability to fire. So particularly like regenerating units and stuff like that. So this is very, very strong to get these Starfire Shafts upgraded. And I think it's the same range, 190. Yeah, very similar damage, but those are huge. And then the Hagbane tips lower speed by 20% and lower someone's damage by 20% as well. So it's going to be pretty good utility units to stop some like fast-moving cav and things like that. The getting onto these Starfire Shafts early is nice, and it used to require this secondary building, but it no longer does. So that's really handy. So the recruitment cost is minus 60% for Elven melee units. This one's minus 60% for Elven ranged units. It takes 2 turns to make these, and it's tier 2. So early on it's not great, but later on it can be good. And then this reduces the tree spirit cost. So if you upgrade this to this, then that will be minus 120% for getting tree spirits. So it's 10,000 gold though. So later on in the game, if you do want to build a bunch of tree spirit units, in theory, you could upgrade this all the way and get a discount on it. So what we're going to be doing early on, though, is we're going to be working, get these Glade Guard going as fast as possible so we can get the Starfire Shafts. And then we're going to build this. That'll give us 400 gold per turn. Now, you can do some stuff to lower the cost, like the construction cost of these buildings by quite a lot on turn 2. There will be an event that shows up that gives us like 25% off, and then we can do a provincial edict in theory that would give us a discount. But we want to be able to power up as fast as possible and really get on the move and start getting aggressive. So yeah, we could save 400 or 500 gold here, but I really want to get aggressive. A couple other things they changed. They moved Sisters of the Thorn down here, and they gave them some pretty good upgrades. They have this Toxic Venom, which does quite a lot of damage to any unit that it affects. So 15 damage to 3 entities per second for 15 seconds. That's a lot of extra damage. And it basically gives you 3 free casts of Shield of Thorns, which is pretty decent. And then also the Curse of Enrayer, which lowers movement speed by 40%. So that can definitely be really handy to help you kite out people. So these are pretty good. They are expensive. They're just sort of decent all-around units. They do have decent weapon strength and charge bonus, so they're cool. They're tier 3. They used to be tier 5, so they moved them down, which is fun. And then they moved the Way Watchers up to tier 5. These used to be tier 4. These are arguably the best archers in the game, along with Sisters of Avalorn for the High Elves. So they probably deserve to be up a little bit higher, but those are super strong. Other stuff they added in with the SFO mod, they have Eternal Wardens and Wildwood Wardens. So these are like pretty top end. I got a fly buzzing around there. Pretty top end infantry. I will say that the elf infantry in general is fairly weak compared to other factions out there. They have really low HP and really low armor. So usually you want to use the tree spirit stuff as sort of your tank. So if you look at like the Treekin here, they have 80 armor. I guess they don't have physical resist anymore, but they have 40 melee defense and 80 armor. So these are really good sort of defensive units. Oh, there's their physical resist, and they get 20 armor there. So these are like much better tank type of units, but they are expensive to hire. So that's just something to keep in mind. But they do have really high melee defense, really high melee attack, and usually pretty high weapon damage. So these, for example, these Wildwood Warrens are 50, 45, and they have 75 damage, and a lot of it's armor piercing. But you notice they only have 11,000 HP. Just by comparison, like clan rats from Skaven are going to have like 18,000 HP, and like zombies are going to have like 22,000 HP with this mod. So it's really hard, and they only have 60 armor, so they can definitely get beaten up. A couple of other units that they added in here. They added in this hero who I've never used before, the Shadow Dancer, who offers damage walls and replenishment, and he's a pretty good fighter, which is handy. And then they kind of upgraded these War Dancers, which are nice. So these are pretty strong as well. These do 55 melee attack and 55 melee defense, but they get plus 30 versus infantry. So these will definitely carve up really low grade things that don't have a lot of armor. And then you have these Aserai Spears, which do super heavy armor piercing damage, and they have armor sundering, but they only have 10 armor. So both of these have virtually no armor. So you really just want to use them to flank into the back, if you use them at all, just to clean people up. So they have some really interesting infantry, but for the most part, I think you just want to spam a bunch of archers and just really agile things, and just use your lords to kind of face tank for you as much as you can, and just try to confuse them with cavalry running around. Now, you do have some pretty nice cavalry options. You have these Hagbane Tips, which are poisons that'll slow them down, kind of skirmisher cav. And they did add in these new cav, these Glade Striders, which are pretty decent sort of shock cav. They have really high charge bonus and weapon strength for this class. For a tier 2 cavalry, that's pretty good. And they're really fast as well. So once again, not great in combat, only 20 armor, just a hair under 10,000 health, so they are very vulnerable. But they can help you clean stuff up if you soften them up with your archers a little bit. And then of course you have the Sisters, who are good sort of caster cav. And then these right here, we start off with one in our army, super low HP, only 6,600, but they do 200 missile strength. There's 24 of them, so they do a ton of damage, have really good range, and they have a very nice charge bonus of 60, and they have really heavy armor piercing melee damage. So these are great, and they're flying, so you can really reposition and charge cycle with them a lot. So I think these are quite good, and we might pick up some more of those down the line. There's also a unique building we can get with those that's pretty close by, a landmark building that's going to help out. As far as magic goes, tier 2 we can get either life magic, beast magic, or shadow magic. It's not that expensive, only 2,000 gold. Now in general, I think that just having like life magic later on is going to be good, but beast magic is extremely good early on. It's great against all these low grade units that you're going to face, because Flock of Doom is just so strong. It does 25% chance to deal 9 damage to 20 entities per second. So 1260 max damage. Now I don't know if I think they've nerfed this a little bit over time. That sounds like that's pretty nerfed, but remember that it's 40 effect range, and that can hit multiple targets. So if you hit like 4 battalions of units, 3 or 4 infantry, and it's blobbed up, that's going to do like 5,000 damage. So that's a lot of damage, and you can overcast it to do twice that much, to do up to 2,400 damage. So it definitely does add up over time. So I think they've nerfed that a little bit, but I think it's still strong. We'll probably try it out. This wild form's pretty good for just extra armor, and then some of the other stuff's decent. Like this Manticore is pretty expensive for 22, but just having a flying unit that can help you out fighting enemy lords can be pretty handy. So we'll probably try these out. Having the extra speed can be good for the cavalry. So anyways, they're okay. You may not even need the spell slingers. You might just be able to use life magic off of the tree guys, but they're pretty good overall. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll get in here and we'll talk some more in between turns. Okay, so we're gonna get in here. What did we roll on this guy? Ariel's Chosen, extra power reserve, and +4 melee during combat. Okay, pretty good. There are some better traits. One of them gives you like reload or missile damage or something pretty strong, but this is a pretty decent one. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put him in here. So we're going to want to get aggressive against Paravon. We're already at war with them. I personally think that Bretonnia is one of the weakest early game factions, so you definitely do not want to mess with Skaven. Skaven are obscenely strong now, and the greenskins are very good too. Look at these orcs, like 20,000 health, level 1 with 43 armor and bronze shields. I mean, the problem is, and they have some physical resist too, and missile resist. So the problem is, like, you're just going to empty your whole clip on them, and they're just going to laugh at you and keep coming. Like, there's just so many of them that you'll just run out of ammo. So you really want to go against lower HP targets. Okay, so we're going to do... you want this recruitment duration -1 for all units, because right now if we try to hire this turn, this is a change I don't really like a ton, but everything starts off as 2, and so you can get -1 recruitment duration whenever you put that commandment to work. And they did add in something sort of like the Lizardmen, this little strength of your link. So it's based off the tier of your town, and it's based off if you control other towns that are close by. So if you get contiguous properties and you level them up, you can get higher level commandments. So it really wants you to be contiguous. We're probably not going to be able to do that if we're going over to Ulthuan. I mean, there's a possibility that we're going to be able to get all of Bretonnia cleaned out and get over there, but I don't know if it even jumps the ocean that far. But that's what Sentenchi wanted to see, so that's going to be our ultimate goal, is to go over there. But yeah, you have to have this one early on, the -1 recruitment. So there's no point in hiring this turn because it would take 2 turns anyways. And that's why I think just hiring this, or just getting this Glade Guard ready to go for next turn is going to be helpful. And then eventually, one thing they changed about this as well, Talon of Kurnos is great. One thing they changed about this as well is that your lords no longer cost a crazy amount of upkeep. There are no more supply lines. So it's only plus 1% upkeep per lord, and then recruitment cost is plus 10% per lord. So you can hire these guys on, and these can be your tanks. They have 90 armor, 14,000 HP, 25% missile resist. They do decent damage, have decent melee attack, and they're also spellcasters. So they can break walls, they can break doors down. You know, they get 20 extra armor from this and 10% extra physical resist as long as they're healthy. So they're just like super strong. They're one of the best lord types in the game. So getting an extra one of these early on, hell, you could even get like 2 of these if you wanted to help you tank some of the foes we're gonna fight, can be very, very handy. So I like that change a lot. Now, if you do get a lot of armies, they have this Imperium power, so that when you have more settlements, you start facing more and more penalties. So it does kind of add up as you get more powerful. It's tougher to manage, but I like that you can get multiple lords now without completely bankrupting yourself. Because in the base game, every extra lord that you get on Legendary, everything in all armies costs 15% more upkeep. Units, lords, heroes, everything. So it's really, really rough to have multiple armies. So I like that change. As far as technology goes, this is kind of a standard tech tree. It's minus a couple of the things they used to have in the middle from vanilla, but it's basically the same thing. The top is, you know, just all sorts of discounts that you can get, and just sort of campaign management stuff, money, diplomacy, stuff like that, movement speed, so pretty good stuff. And then this down here is combat-oriented type of stuff, so I guess that has ambush success chance. But it's a lot of stuff like extra weapon strength for elf infantry, you know, ammo for all missile units, which is very good, global capacity, all that stuff. So decent stuff there as we go through. This is a new thing they added on, so this is where you use your amber. So none of the units cost amber anymore. Use them on these upgrades and use them on your main settlements when you upgrade those. But basically you can get some of these things for different techs. So we're going to start with this, minus 10% cost for Lore of Life things, and then replenishment plus 5% is pretty big. And then we want to get over here to these cleansing seeds for the 2 extra public order. Will really help us manage our properties. And then as your Oak of the Ages upgrades, then you're able to get more and more of these techs over time. And then over here, these are waystones. You get waystones from winning battles, quests, things like that. And you can spend them on your rights. You can spend them on this. And you can spend them on some of your offices and different events that happen. But basically, when you get a lot of these waystones and you have like certain tier 4 buildings, then you can get some of these upgrades. So for example, to get this one, which is very good, the plus 50% ammo for Glade Guard units, you click on that. We need this tier 4 building here. And the other 3 elves in Athelloren each control one of these specialty type of buildings that you can construct to get those special technologies. So obviously you want to get those whenever they're available. Most of them are very, very strong. But that'll come into play more later on in the campaign. So pretty cool system, a lot more choices. You know, I think that the elves in general had one of the weakest technology trees of most of the major factions, so this is really refreshing to see that. You do have rights now. The rights change cost depending on what season it is. So certain seasons will increase the right cost, certain seasons will decrease it. But this is another place where you can use money combined with some of these waystones. So, you know, you can just kind of read them there. We'll use them more later on as we go through. Okay, but I do want to get into some fights here pretty soon. Okay, so Oak of the Ages now also, the final thing that I'll mention here on this first turn is you can try to upgrade this. It does give an extra public order faction-wide, untainted. You get extra waystones per turn. You get a bigger garrison, and Beastmen will sense this change. Recruitment cost does go up quite a bit as you upgrade this, so it does give you access to some techs. You still have to get to tier 3 before you can confederate with the other elves, and that's the big one. So I think I'm going to try to upgrade as much as possible. I don't know what Beastmen will sense this change means. If there's extra Beastmen that spawn around there, I'm just not sure. We'll have to see when we get there. I assume that means more Beastmen will spawn and try to come at you, but either way, we do want to get that fairly early on, even though it does increase recruitment costs, which kind of sucks. I think the extra technology is going to be worth early on, and getting, like I said, getting to the Confederation is one of the biggest deals. Untainted in all regions. I don't know, that extra cost is pretty big, but the ultimate goal to win is you want to get it all the way up to tier 6, which is 100 turns. Now, it does become less turns. There are certain buildings and technologies you can get that reduce the turn timers. So let's go ahead and we'll go with construction cost and public order there.
Lord of the Forest.
I do think we probably want to go for that once we're able to get a discount on it. We'll see. Actually, so that's 40 experience. That's the only faction-wide one. Public order doesn't matter. We might actually just wait, because I think we are going to be strapped for cash, because we're going to go pretty hard and just try to kill as many of these people as we can early on. Okay, so we're going to wait a turn here. We are going to hire one of the tree guys, but we do want to wait on that until we're just about ready to go, because we don't want to pay his upkeep every turn. Okay, let's see if we can get this. No. Okay, he'll come around.
Orders?
I think.
What could you possibly want? Short-sighted.
Okay, so we just want to try to get onto good terms with them as soon as we can. Carcassonne. We already have a non-aggro with them. And they're kind of our buffer zone between the Beastmen. Okay, I think that's it. The offices we'll go into later. You have to have higher level people, but basically, you can get, like, early on, you can get some pretty decent stuff. So, like, +8 public order in a province, and then, like, defensive things for tree spirits and armor and all that kind of stuff. So, it's decent, but we have to have other buildings in other provinces around Athelloren in order to build these things. So we have the Wildwood Waystones, and that will allow us to do this one, but we need the other properties in order to get these other ones unlocked. So we'll go into that more later.
I live to
Okay.
serve Ariel.
I think we're good. Did we start? Okay, yeah, we got the grapes going. We got the since we're not making that much money this turn, I'm going to go ahead and take the taxes off of this, and we're not hiring this turn either. That's going to give us a little bit more public order, 8 more public order, and it gives you 50 growth. So we can get up to a little bit more growth. Now, this does cost 2 growth instead of just 1, so that is pretty obnoxious. It takes way longer. It used to only cost 1 growth, and you could power level up to this really quickly and get a Beast Sorceress online by, like, turn 4, and that helped out a lot. Then you could power rush up to tier 3 with Durthu and get to Treekin really fast. But they've kind of put a stop to that to where it costs a lot more amber, and most importantly, it costs a lot more growth. to level it up that way. So you don't want to do that for too long. And money-wise, you're going to be really tight on money if you do that too much. Okay, so we're just going to sneak in just a little bit here. A little bit of min-maxing, a little bit of public order. 50 extra growth. And then we're going to go from there. But we really got to, like I said, build up, go hard, and then just get really aggressive early on. Now, you do get a penalty when you're in foreign territory. Now they changed that with the Elves. So you get like... Okay, so the seasons have changed. These different seasons bring in different aspects as well. So right now, minus 25% construction cost for all buildings, and then casualty replenishment rate, 20% for tree spirits, and characters, so heroes, lords, things like that. And there's no upkeep for Orion. So right now, he's free. So he was costing quite a bit upkeep. I don't remember what it is, but you gotta be aware of that is gonna be more expensive than it seems. Okay, so now we're gonna hire Starfire. And we do want to take that off. Now one of these gives extra recruitment capacity, but no, never mind. That was a different thing I was looking at. Okay. So usually it reduces your recruitment capacity by 1 if you don't tax. So we're gonna do 3 Starfire shafts. And then we're just gonna keep hiring those for a few turns here. Now, other buildings, I do want to build up. We're gonna need just like maybe 1 battalion, like 3 Eternal Guard with shields to help out a little bit. But maybe 2. We really don't need that many of those. I'm gonna hold off on this, upgrading that.
What do you need? What could you possibly want? I will see it done. Glade Lord, this is Athelloran, home of the ill considered.
Okay, we'll check him out next turn. Okay, everyone else is all good. Clan Spittle's pretty weak. I mean, I kind of want to wipe these clowns out before they get too strong, but I need to go after Paragon. I think we can just leave them alone. Okay, faction-wide caps. So that means that in order to get some of your elite units, you have to have special buildings that give you the capacity to hire them. So for example, to get more dragons, I have to have more of these dragon layers, and there are some things in the outpost where you can get more capacity. But basically that just keeps you from getting to tier 5 and just stacking an army with like, you know, 15 dragons or something in it, which is something that's definitely abusable with certain races in vanilla. So that is kind of cool. It just puts a limit to the elite units and just makes them feel a lot more special and a lot more strategic in how you use them. So you have to make more choices, which I think ultimately is good.
Lord of the Asray.
Okay, so I think maybe we should have hired him last turn. We'll think about it. +1 recruit rank, all units in army, leadership size. I think the Kurnos is better.
Orion.
I'm trying to decide. Can we jump all the way over from here? I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, we can make this jump. Okay, so what I'm gonna do then is just hire a tree guy here. I think that 3 more is fine. We could do 1 Hagbane tip. That would help against some things, but that's a lot less damage. Like, these are just so much raw damage. Hagbane tips are good for slowing stuff down, but maybe that doesn't matter. I guess we do have 2 Eternal Guard. We may not need more than that, honestly, early on. So that's 14 units. Okay. I think maybe we go with that, and then we make our play next turn. Okay, so we go with that, and then next turn we should be able to jump. jump both of them over this wall and go after Kelness. I think that's a good number. I mean, it's possible we might need a little bit more, so maybe we just go ahead and get rid of this if we just don't think we need more spears. I guess I could have gotten rid of it in the first place, and then we can put in a Trapper's Den for growth, because our growth is kind of low. We could also get this Amber Copse for extra gold per turn. That sounds pretty good, and we get Amber and construction time. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So we'll sell that. Because we're not going to be recruiting, at least early on, we're not going to be recruiting a ton of stuff from our main town. Hopefully we'll be getting them from these different little areas. Okay, so they haven't burned anything over here yet. We got to track the Beastmen, because you don't have walls in your main settlement, so... that can be problematic. If the Beastmen come over and attack you, you can get... I mean, you lose, basically. If they come and backdoor you and you don't have an army protecting your capital, you will lose. So, you gotta be really careful with that. Okay. Still working our tax. I think we're saving the money. Okay, and we still need the recruitment duration, and then next turn we'll change it over to public order. Okay, still got this work and experience. Alright. And they did change most of the things that end up costing, like, that give you more experience per turn. They buffed all those up pretty significantly, so it actually feels meaningful. Because those little, you know, heroes that were giving you like 15 experience per turn were just trash. Like, it's just not enough. Because you need 1,000 experience to gain 1 chevron, so it's like, it's so bad. So they upgrade a lot of them to 100 or 150, which is much, much better. Then it's still like 10 turns before you get a free chevron, so. Okay, yeah, we'll allow Beastmen in the mid-game. It's going to make it more annoying, but
The forest
probably more thematically appropriate.
You have my
So let's
spear.
jump with him.
God King of the Deepwood.
We'll jump with him. And then we can go ahead and now go with this. Well, we get a discount, and then we can change this over to public order. And that should be good. I hope this is enough power. I think it will be. And we actually need to make sure that this guy gets powered up first, because we really need him to get his magic online. Like, to be able to upgrade Earthblood and all that stuff is super important. So we need to be very clean on this fight. So Earthblood is not necessarily, it's like, it's good, but it's not the end-all be-all. We really need to get to the regrowth, which gives a ton to a single target, and that's what we're gonna have to do with our lords, is just really try to press in there. Okay, extra growth, all provinces and public order. Nice. Okay, so we cannot hand off units right now. Okay, but we want to try to get into the stance if we can. We lose melee defense, but we gain upkeep reduction and then reload time and vigor loss. The reload time's pretty huge. Okay, so let's get him. And if he goes into, well, yeah, I could attack with him and then reinforce with him to make sure that he's the primary person.
Yes.
Although our archers won't get their feet set, I don't think it's gonna matter.
Me.
They're gonna let us come in, I'm pretty sure, so it's not gonna matter.
I go.
Albonis Enchant. Tyra Kadambra.
Okay, and we're gonna fight it, and we need a decisive victory here. So Orion, obviously we want him leveled up too, but getting the magic online, because it's going to be a lot harder for us to get to that magic. It's going to take a lot longer to get to tier 2 in our main town with the Spell Singer. We really want him to get a couple of those early spells. Primarily the regrowth. Okay, so I think, like I said, I'm pretty sure they're going to let us come out. Dang, I forgot you can get up to 45. That's pretty huge.
Eternal God! At once!
I think they have a trebuchet
Awaiting orders!
over here. We got to neutralize that trebuchet.
Way Watchers! This instant!
With speed.
Riders ready!
You sell the cheese and you get more out.
My bad.
At once!
Eh.
Battle ready!
Okay, let's get him out over here too.
Forward! Ready to ride!
And I'm aware of different cheese tactics as well.
Ever
What?
ready! Without delay! Change
Um.
arms! Trample them with haste! Draw your weapons! Swiftly! With haste! Armed and ready! Swift of foot! With haste!
And I'm aware of different cheese tactics too. I try not to do that in my campaigns. I'm not necessarily passing judgment, but I know there are some other content creators that, you know, will like try to run people out of ammo, like run around in circles, run people out of ammo, and just other kind of just cheesy stuff. That's just not my style. I don't like doing that. So no hate for people that do like to do that, but
At pace! Tireless! Hurry! Formation locked! At pace!
Ah, police.
Way Watchers!
while we're running towards them, don't run towards them.
Defenders of Athelloren!
Oh, they're all trying to get into range.
Destroy all!
Yeah, we're just trying to, I mean, it's fine if they want to go hard on us here. Are these things, okay, they're not quite running.
Understood. We accept. Quickly, now!
Ah, police and jobs.
To Athelloren!
Kados, guide us!
Cadabra.
Straight away! Kill them! End them! Right! Hurry!
Crap, there's,
With haste! Wild Riders! Athelloren!
For the blades!
Bowman ready! Shoot! Blade guard! Understood! We grow restless! Take them! Now! Ever ready! Swift! Go! Hurry! Swiftly! Deepward cavalry! Way Watchers! Bowman ready!
Fire.
Your orders! For Athelloren! At speed! With haste! Right!
these things just don't weigh a lot too, which is kind of
Now!
annoying.
Orders! Quickly now! Swift! Glade guard! Asprey riders! Trample them! To battle! Quickly! Swift! Go! Charge! Glade guard!
Swiftly!
These Hounds of Orion no longer do damage to you, your own friendly units, so...
With speed.
We are tired.
Yeah, I'm not microing this nearly as well as I could be, for sure. Did this much cleaner last time.
Missiles ready.
Orion! Swiftly!
I think I had more units last time, though, to be fair. I think I waited one more time.
At once.
Cavalry! Go!
Armed and ready.
Orion!
Blade guard. At speed.
Hurry! Change weapon! Quickly!
Eternal guard.
Carlos is in me! I will! Swiftly! Weapons ready!
Wild riders. Trample them. Glade guard. Dauntless Azrael.
Slaughter them! We stand ready! Yes! Orion!
Wild riders. Hurry. Quickly.
Hunters! Swift! Smash them!
Wild riders.
Okay, they're all gonna die. I may have actually lost an archer there, I'm not sure. Okay, so I think I do want to kill... I'm not 100% how this works, but I think I do want to try to kill them all.
Archers ready.
Just because, as many as I can, because it's really important we try to get decisive, and I think it might give me a close battle for this. I'm not sure if it's going to matter if, like, how many I killed in combat.
King in the woods! Ride! With haste!
We're going to try to kill as many as we can here, run them down. Even though they're all going to die in the town, just once again, I'm going to see if I can get a higher victory condition by...
At once! At speed!
killing as many units as possible. Even though, once again, they are all going to get
Our aim
wiped.
is true. Warriors of Orion. Bowman ready.
Okay, no, these guys... Okay, they didn't wipe. They just got really
Quickly.
injured.
Aye. At once. Yes.
Orion! For my lady!
Now. Swiftly. Hunt them.
These things are, like, mega fast, too.
Swift.
Compared to a lot of other cav.
Ready for the hunt! Swiftly! For Lauren! Ride! Ride them down! Hungry for battle!
Right. Yes.
I'll go ahead and speed this up. Okay, I think that's all we're gonna get. It's probably still gonna give us close. Dang it. I'm not sure if he's gonna level up off of that then or not. 44 minutes. Okay, that should be their whole army, though, to start with. Okay, it's not too bad. Archers definitely took a beating. Orion's kind of hurt, but we can heal them up a little bit in combat. Okay, and we're just gonna occupy this. So you can seed it, which is occupy, basically. You can burn it, or you can do, like, a burn, like, a partial burn, and you get, like, a lot of movement speed. They do have a lot of movement speed modifiers in all of their technologies and skills and everything. They can run really, really quick, which is nice because these are undefended for the most part.
Master of the wild hunt.
So whenever you take over these outposts, there's no garrison to start with. So you literally, they could just walk in and just claim the property. You have to build a garrison there. So a lot of these buildings will add garrisons to it a little bit. So there's like 4 units there. There used to be, this one gave, I'm gonna go ahead and build this one because it gives us campaign movement range. We're not gonna get it next turn, but that's a really handy one to have, and recruitment cost and recruitment capacity if we want to hire some of those. So these are all like really cheap, so it's not a huge deal if they take it from you, but yeah, they've changed this around a little bit to where you can get some more growth, some of these extra things, but none of these give like huge garrisons. So a couple of them give decent garrisons, but any respectable army is just going to run right through this most of the time. However, if you can protect it up to higher ranks, now you can recruit like a full suite of mid-range, mid-tier units. You can't get the tier 5 stuff, but you can get up to tier 3 with a tier 4 one of these little things. And these are pretty cheap too. So if they kill it, you know, they kill it. It's annoying, but you can deal with that. Now, the public order is another deal. You used to get, like, free public order where you never had to watch it in these places. Now you do have to watch it a little bit, so we'll probably leave them untaxed, like we're going to do this right here, just to help get the public order up. Now, there are some things that do give more public order, like this Waystone does, but they've dialed back a lot of the tier 1 stuff. And to get this thing, these sacrificial grounds, this is +1 upkeep for everybody in your whole army and +1 recruitment cost. Now, this was the big one that used to help out a ton back in the day. If you're like mega rich, it didn't have the upkeep penalty, and you could just get this, and it would just give you 1% missile strength. And I remember the first time I went through Wood Elves, you could get, you know, I had like 40 provinces and got this, and then just had a stack of like 9 Way Watchers, and they just completely melted everything. So this looks really minor, but it actually ends up being massive later on in the game. If you control a ton of properties, it is balanced out by having a much heftier upkeep, but your units can definitely hit really hard if you get enough of those. So this is where we can recruit things like the Deepwood Scouts, and eventually we can get Sisters and stuff like that off of some of these secondary towns, which is really nice because you used to have to globally recruit them in, which took forever and cost a lot of money, or you had to mule the units over there, which also costs a lot of money. And by muling, I mean you would just hire a lord in your main town in Athelloren, get some of your, you know, tier 3 or tier 4 units, and then just run as fast as you could to go hand them off to your main lord. And that costs a lot of money because it was 15% extra upkeep for each additional lord, but it still ended up being a better deal than stopping your main lord for 6 turns to globally recruit something. So anyways, I like the system a lot, and as you can see, it gives extra recruitment capacity if you do get those. It gives you extra recruitment capacity for a lot of units, right? So extra Sisters, War Dancers, and it'll even give you Wild Riders, and this one will give you Dragon capacity. So 1 extra Forest Dragon. So that's how you get the extra unit capacity. Okay. So anyways, a lot more choices here, a lot more stuff you can recruit if you level it up far enough. More choices, overall good. Okay, so we want to get this guy leveled up, and we want to do Awakening the Wood, and we want to get Lifeblood up as fast as possible. Now, this does have a much longer cooldown reduction. So it does have 60, I guess. Yeah, it just says 60 at all points here, 30%. So it must not be reflected in the tooltip there. Yeah, so it's 60 base, and then it gets reduced by 50% down to a 30-second cooldown. So that's -3 on the cost, and then we get 10% off of the base cost as well. So we're going to get somewhere between 1 and 2 off, and then we get another 3 off of this. So it's really good. If you overcast it, it is 14 seconds. So that does heal for a total of 1400. So it's pretty good. And then this Flesh to Stone is pretty decent as well. It's a little bit more expensive, but it does give you 60 extra armor. And entities cannot die while this ability is active. So I guess if your lord's about to die, you could cast this on him, and he may not die if that's the case. I don't know. That's pretty interesting. And then 20 seconds of life blooms. That gives everyone on the map, every time you cast an ability, then, or actually I guess within 150 meters, everybody gets healed for 400. So pretty good, pretty good. Okay, but anyways, so, you know, healing for, still healing for 1400, even on a single entity like Orion or something like that, can be pretty good. So if I can keep Orion and the tree guy close together, then I can heal both of them, and that's pretty handy. And I could even fly over with the Hawks or just get the Wild Riders in there for a heal, so I think it can be pretty decent. So that's what we want to work on first, and then the big ticket that we want to eventually get to is this regrowth over here. That's the big one. So that's 3,000 healed over 30 seconds, and it gives you back 100% vigor. That's not even that much more though, honestly. What is this? Is okay, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's 2.5 times. So that's a pretty big heal. You do lose damage, but it doesn't matter. Like, you just need to be able to face tank a lot of stuff, and then cast this, heal all the way up, and just go from there. And then you can also get Dwellers from Below and Arcane Conduit and all this stuff. But we definitely need to get to Earthblood, and then after that, we can kind of decide if we want to go for Impenetrable Bark for even more armor, or if we want to get down here and do some of this other stuff. But yeah, this is where we're going to start Earthblood. He's our only person we're going to have access to for casting. Now, he leveled up somehow when Orion didn't, which is kind of weird, but okay. And then with him, we want to do Eye of Kurnos, so extra damage for everybody in reload skill, and then Arrow of Kurnos. They gave some extra stuff here, which is pretty cool. They kind of dialed back some of this stuff a little bit, but they gave you the Hunt, extra 5% ammo for everybody. That doesn't start till level 25, but that's pretty solid. And then they made this training, like I said, a little bit better for 100 experience per turn, which is actually legit. He can assassinate people, gives extra campaign movement range for an accompanying lord. Sometimes it's really confusing. Some characters will say, you know, an extra 10% or 15% movement, but it's not for the lord, it's for the hero. So if you put the hero in the army, I don't think that transfers over to the lord, but this one does. So that's really handy. So yeah, he's pretty respectable now, and he does a pretty good amount of damage here too over time. 200 range, 50 ammo, so he's not the best hero in the world, but he's pretty decent. They've made him a lot more respectable now. Okay, so we've got this. Okay, so I think, and I learned my lesson. I did a kind of a test run on some of these. I believe if we dash over to here,
on my way,
then we should be able to hit Baravon, and they won't have anything, and then we can get him next turn with him. So we can dash him over there if we need to, and then start off with Orion, and we can go ahead and combine these because we have virtually no replenishment. So we can come back over here and hire some more later if we need to, but we'll go ahead and do that. How much longer do we have on summer months? 3 turns. Okay. Alright. Now Orion's going to be like 600 gold per turn, so we have to keep that in mind, that we're getting a discount right now, but we're not always going to have that discount. Okay. I think this is all good. Oh, Argolon. Non-aggression. Military access. We could try to get money off of that. Okay, well, I guess we'll just take some money. Hopefully. Okay. So yeah, we want to be super friendly with them as much as we can, because we do need to try to confederate.
I serve the Lady of the Lake.
They aren't guaranteed to confederate with us just because we can confederate, by the way. So I think we'll need to kill a lot of beastmen to make that happen. Okay. And I think that's all good. So working text. Still got this over here. Public order, building cost, got that going. Okay. Still have enough juice in the tank, I think, to finish him off.
Were it not for the kind heart of the Lady Ariel, you would already be dead.
Nope, we're gonna go knock him out. Okay, get a little extra cash, I like it.
God King of the Deepwood.
Okay, so now I believe
Lord of
we're gonna
the
have to
forest.
attack full on.
I will make it so.
Yeah, we can't do that other stance, which is cool and everything, but being able to attack on time is also cool.
Elves and Christian.
What you ask is impossible.
Okay, and he does have Siege Attacker, I think, right? Yes. Now, it says Siege Attacker.
Yes.
He's a pretty weak Siege Attacker, if we're going to be honest.
I
He
bring
does not knock
pain.
down doors very quickly at all. But,
Asway, to battle!
okay. They're pretty strong. I don't remember them having that strong of a garrison before, but it's pretty legit. So this is going to be a tough siege, but it's a lot of archers. But we got to do it. Let's do it. We didn't come over here not to fight. So the tough thing is going to be to get access to these doors. So we don't have that many spears. Orion can't climb the walls. So we're going to be relying a lot on our archers and the eagles really to clean up the balconies. And then we can try to get, if they don't guard one side, then we can bring over like some of our spears and climb up the sides and try to get in the back door. So if they don't have anybody over here, we can try to run these dudes over this way and try to get up these walls on this back door. Okay. So we'll see here. So these are gonna, it's gonna take forever. Now he's coming in from over here, so it's gonna take him a million years also.
Reborn.
Okay, so we're just gonna try to like just, this is really annoying because you can't get all the way over here. We just want to limit the surface area that these can attack us in. Now we might, we don't want to get too close.
Waystalker. Silent
So
Sentinel.
this is gonna be tricky.
Eternal Guard!
Which ones have shields? These? Okay, so we can bring these guys up and just kind of make them a little sacrifice here if we can.
We grow restless! Way Watchers! Dauntless Azray! Orders acknowledged! Tireless! Aim! Fire!
Lord of the Hunt.
Cavalry! Swiftly! Ready and waiting!
Hiding in wait. Attack! At once.
Protectors of the forest! Without delay! Weapons!
Oh god, they have a trebuchet? Are you kidding me right now? When did they get a trebuchet? I don't remember them having that.
Deepwood
Oh
Cavalry!
god.
With
Okay, that's
haste!
gotta go.
Now!
Yeah, I think they had this a higher upgrade than it was before.
Right! Hold!
Yeah, that's not gonna work, boys. Can't have trebuchets.
Death will be a blessing! Steady! Fire!
With speed.
Hunters! Armed and ready! Rain death! Our aim is true!
Swiftly.
Our bows are yours!
they have one unit over here. Okay, we might be able to climb up this wall then.
Swiftly now!
Maybe they won't notice.
Orion!
Ever ready!
Okay, we crush it yet?
Speed! We stand ready for Cain! For Athelloren! Herdos Blessa! At once! Way Watchers!
Aim! Fire! Swift! Ever ready! Swiftly!
Hunters! Go! Understood! Withdraw! Fire! Draw your weapons!
With speed!
Right! Quickly! With haste! Your command! Asray Riders! Children of Athelloren!
Crap.
This instant!
Your orders? Moving fast! As you say! Swiftly!
Defenders of Athelloren! Immediately! Without delay!
Waystalker ready!
Way Watchers! Awaiting orders! Write them down!
Ready!
Very well. Eternal Guard!
Orion!
Warriors of Ariel! Release! Armed and ready! At once! Way Watchers! Weapons ready! It shall be done! Let's hunt!
Orion!
Deep
We're taking some big hits here.
Blade guard! At pace! Aye! Go! Swiftly! Swift! For it! Your orders! At speed! Quickly! At speed! Ends them! Quickly, now!
Boys, let's go in here.
Ready to ride! By Karnos! Hunters! With haste! Now! Hurry! Go! Swift! We accept! Swiftly! Attack! At speed! Way Watchers!
Right away! Going forth!
Dauntless Asray! Aim! Fire!
Hunt them! With speed!
Raiders of Athelloren! Change arms! Hurry! Flatten them!
Whoa, what?
Quickly!
What the
Right!
flip?
At
Oh
speed!
my god. Oh, these units are so frustrating. These like tier 1 spearmen at arms are just shattering my tier 5 cav. Like,
Quickly!
I get it, it's spears versus cav, but come on, man, it's tier freaking 5.
Ready! To battle! Wild riders! At once! With haste! At speed! Swiftly! For Lauren! Now!
Orion! With speed!
At once! Wild riders!
Orion! For my lady!
To war!
Oh my god, they just literally rallied back on the spot.
Now!
I will crush them!
With haste! Swift! Quickly! At once! Wild riders! Way watchers! With haste! Forward! By your command! Riders of Lauren! Cavalry! Yes! Your orders! Way watchers!
This is just like brutal.
Left of foot! Change arms! Lauren!
Orion! Strike on Cornwall!
Those, I think I said this in the first episode, but those hounds can't damage friendly units anymore.
Lauren! At speed!
King in the woods! Swiftly! With speed! Good! You have my spear!
Riders ready! Armed and ready! Go! Death to all! Now! Hunters! Swift! We stand ready!
Did he seriously not get a heal off of that? Are y'all kidding?
Swiftly!
Y'all are trolling.
Speed!
Cavalry!
Whoa, get him in there.
As you say!
Arboris Enchant.
Purify!
We stand ready! Swiftly! Ever ready! With haste!
Eager for battle! Rousing the forest!
Awaiting orders! Ride! Swiftly! Hurry! At once! Swift! Forever loyal! Your command! Quickly! Hurry!
Why can't they get out? Lord.
Unbreakable! For the Aspen! Son of Kornos!
Jeez, this is way harder than the first time I sieged. I think I had more units the first time I sieged it though. Jesus.
Wild riders! Orders received! Ready to ride! At speed!
Okay, I need to make sure it's just my most important units. I guess it just picks random units for the Earthblood. We don't even have enough for an Earthblood. I need like one more.
Orion!
I!
Hungry for battle!
Forest Stalker!
Issa! Go! With speed!
How much is Overcast? I think it's like 14. Do I just save up for an Overcast?
I
Maybe?
hear you!
Maybe I do.
To battle! Deepwood Guardian!
I think I save up for 2.
Blade guard! Right!
Silent sentinel! For Drakira!
Now! At speed! Swiftly! It shall be done! To the enemy! As you say! For Lauren! Ever ready! Go! Yes! Armed and ready!
Swiftly!
1, 2, 3, and then we can put him in here for 4.
With haste! Quickly!
I think it's 4 units, right? How much is it? 15?
Way Watchers!
Oh my god, it's an hour and 10? Oh, this is the first episode, isn't it? I forgot about that. Jeez. Well, I thought I would be able to get this done, but...
With speed!
Jeez. Alright, sorry about this being so long in the first episode. I really didn't think this fight was going to be this big of a deal. It's more than 6... How much is it? The overcast.
Orion!
Our bodies!
He still has a lot of ammo, so we need to try to use that ammo if we can.
Orion!
It's a much more technical fight than I thought it was going to be.
For the blades!
God, they're moving really. Oh, that's annoying.
I am reborn!
Arboris enchant!
Deepwood Archers!
Arboris enchant!
At pace!
Lord of the Hunt!
Straight away! Archers ready!
What are y'all doing?
At
Run.
once!
Go! With speed!
Swiftly! With speed!
Oh god.
Wild Riders! Blade Guard! With haste! At once! To war!
Forward!
Orion! I will!
Asray Riders! Right! Now! Cavalry! It is done! Hurry! Hunters! Ride them down! Quickly! Ride! Ever ready! With haste! Ride!
For Lauren!
Battle ready! Following orders!
Awaiting orders! Swiftly! Rise, sons of Kurnos! Withdraw!
Orion!
Hiding in wait! At pace!
Where you going, bro? Come on.
Pain, break them!
Fall's will!
Raystalker!
King in the woods! Karnos is in me!
This instant!
Got these dudes rally
At
back.
once!
Quickly!
Holy crap. Why are you running? What is going on?
Stalking the
Fight him.
prey.
What is going on?
Hawk's talon hungers! Slaughter them!
For Lauren!
Awaiting orders!
Blade Guard!
Jeez, dude, this is the most like drawn out, crazy fight. I really didn't think it was gonna be this hardcore.
For Our lady! Hurry! Swift! Sound the horns!
Hungry for battle! For Ariel!
Wild riders! Quickly!
Hawkeye!
What are we doing? Why are we not?
Hunter! At
Is
once!
it because we're not supposed to attack fleeing units or something? I'm not sure what the targeting deal is.
By your command!
Ready and waiting! At speed!
To battle! Destroy all!
Wild riders! With haste!
Okay, we got that
Armed
dude.
and ready! At speed! Death to outsiders!
Swiftly! Punch them!
Eternal guard!
This is really down to the wire here.
Go! Right!
Alright, so yeah, tougher siege than I anticipated early. Oh, we have some extra ammo? What?
At pace!
Ready for the hunt!
Yeah, the last time I did this, I think maybe they got the garrison upgraded building or something. I don't know, but I don't remember there being a trebuchet or this many elite units. There were like 1 or 2 foot squires, but why are they running?
Wild riders! Swiftly! Now!
Orion!
But I don't remember there being like 3 armored knights and like 6 archers and whatever else is going on there.
Hurry! Glory to the eternal realms! Straight away! Quickly!
Swiftly!
Wild riders! Orders acknowledged!
We do have one more heal here.
It is done! Children of Athelloren!
Orion!
Right away!
Cavalry! Armed and ready! Right! Death to our enemies!
Winter comes to all!
Ends them!
Orders with haste!
Eager for battle! Cain, hear me!
For the eternal realms! Swiftly! With haste!
You have my spear! I will crush them!
Wild riders!
What are these?
Swift! Now!
Orion! Destroy all!
At
No,
speed!
get those Knights of the Realm off me.
Son of Kronos!
Damn it, they shattered. Those freaking Knights of the Realm came back. They get bonus versus large. Oh, do not let him kill him. Do not let him kill him.
Swiftly! With speed!
Seriously.
Swiftly! With speed!
Get over here and kill them. Stop chasing the other idiots and get over here.
Swiftly! With speed! Swiftly! With speed! Swiftly! With speed!
This is like the closest thing. Okay, get over here.
Moving fast! I will! Deepwood Guardian! As you say! Attack!
Orion!
Oh, we still have some ammo left. I didn't realize that. He had 1 shot left. This is really down to the wire.
With haste!
Well, that's one way to save on some upkeep.
Ever ready!
So let everything die in this first, like, crazy
Forest
clash.
Stalker, stalking the prey! Go!
Hoeth would agree! Swiftly! With speed!
Good thing he gets some extra replenishment, I
For
think.
Ariel!
Oh my god.
Swiftly!
Silent Sentinel!
Yeah, I mean, this guy is definitely MVP status. That's what I'm saying. Like, you really need these guys to be able to tank.
Unbreakable!
Isha!
Orion! Lord of the Hunt! With speed, swiftly, for Athel-Loren! For my lady!
Arboris, enchant.
Oh my god. Okay. Well. Super long episode. So sorry about that. Well, I mean, I guess it was cool, but yeah, I mean, it's way harder than I thought it was going to be. I cannot believe these things basically melted to the freaking, like, the spears. Like, I just charged them in the back, and I was like, okay, I can leave them in there for 5 seconds. No, you can't. Level 1 spears, lighten them up. Like, you need to charge cycle with them a lot, but the problem is they're not that heavy, so they can get caught in combat, which is really annoying. They're basically, like, they can clean up archers and stuff like that really quickly, but other stuff can be very problematic. Well, we miraculously only lost 1 set of archers there. We're gonna probably combine some other ones, but and we're gonna seed it. It'd be nice to get that money, but I think we're gonna get it tier 2.
To the hunt!
We might get it tier 3, but there is a really nice building at tier 2 that we can get. Caravan's gone. Ooh, that's actually very nice. I love that one. The Balls Anvil Smith. For the extra 20 armor. That's very nice too. We got a couple of good followers there. We do have tier 2, and you do get this nice Peaks of Paravan that does allow you to hire Hawk Riders. Now, yes, it is expensive to hire spirit units, but this does lower the cost by 30%, and if we get 2 of these Wild Root Pathways, that lowers it by an additional 40%. So that'd be a 70% reduction in total cost for getting these. And we do get some upkeep cost reduction, so I think this is pretty solid. They are expensive, they're $448, but they are very effective too. Especially on these sieges, which we just saw were a huge deal. So if I had multiple Hawks, that would have helped out a ton. I didn't see how many kills they got last battle, but
I live to serve.
they're pretty strong. I mean, they have the highest chevrons right now of any of my units, which means they're the ones putting up most of the kills. So they're pretty good. They seem to be doing. I mean, these guys do put in a lot of work too, but just especially on sieges, just because you can reposition. If I didn't kill those trebuchets with these Hawks, we would have lost the fight just because they had trebuchets. So those are very, very nice, and that they double up as cavalry and as archers. So you can't afford a ton of them, but I think getting a couple would be pretty nice. And we are getting a discount right now as well, so we can go ahead and get this to get a bigger discount next turn. Then we can build the buildings, and it's really worth 197. I mean, I think they do less, honestly, than with the Starfire shafts. I didn't see, but it's just the magical and the armor piercing damage. I think it's just better. Now the Swift Shiver shards do a lot, but anyways, we're way over time, so we'll figure it out next time. Thank you very much. As always, I appreciate it, and we'll see you then. Be sure to like and subscribe.